Talking to some of these guys in the exit interviews, a lot of similar themes keep coming up in that the leadership group and you and Pels in particular were guys that a lot of the young guys looked up to. And as you approach this kind of stage in your career, is it something that you take pride in that a lot of the guys thought so highly of you and really appreciated what you were able to do for them both on and off the ice?
Yeah, it's humbling for sure. It's something not just coming into an older position here. I've done it since I was even a young guy. I tried to be a guy who his teammates could lean on and off the ice. Try to be the ultimate teammate and person and bring that character to the rink every single day. So to hear it from my teammates is definitely humbling and something I will continue to take pride in.
This team this year, this group had gone through so many ups and downs and through injuries, through call-ups. You guys still managed to find a way to be in the thick of the hunt and all the way to the last game of the year. Obviously, it was a bit of a disappointing end, but when you look back at your season as a whole and the way things went, are you pretty proud of the resiliency of this group?
Yeah, I think obviously it's a bit of a sour taste in our mouth just because of last night and it coming down to game 68. But I think at the end of the day, we did a heck of a job battling through a ton of adversity, and there were a handful of games there down the line that we probably didn't have any business winning, missing guys, and in Calgary and with injuries like you said, and we really found a way, and we credit that to the character in the locker room and. Going back to what we talked about before, the leadership group trying to keep everyone on course and keeping the train on the tracks, I guess they'd say. But the resiliency we showed all year to me was something that I was definitely proud of, and I'm it's a disappointing feeling not making playoffs, obviously, but definitely very proud of our group.
On a positive note for you personally, you hit a milestone this year with your 500th professional game, and it was one that I think is a meaningful milestone for anyone. And seeing you and Pels, and I think that was maybe one of the reasons why some of the guys had such high praise for you all is because you guys have been here. You've done it at the NHL level and the AHL level. When you look back at now your career, passing that 500 milestone, that 500 game milestone, is it still something that you have just as much pride in as you did when you first passed it?
Yeah, it still kind of gets me giddy thinking about it. I wasn't really sure starting off my career how long it's going to last and how long, how many games you're going to get to or years or it's pretty cool. That's what I'll leave it at there. To me, it's pretty cool that I've played that many and I've been around a ton of tremendous people, teammates, been on some good teams. And I think this is just the tip of the iceberg for me. I'm not ready to shut it down just yet, and gonna keep grinding away. I've definitely done it the hard way. It wasn't an easy path to get here, but I'll continue to grind as long as my body will let me.
And the grind is kind of indicative of the line that you were on for most of the year. And I think paired with Rod Pelly, you guys were two guys that were always relied on, first guys on the ice when a penalty was taken. When you look at your game, obviously not the offense that you wanted to have at the end of the year, but the fact that you guys found a role on the team, a niche to contribute, was that kind of the key for you? Is if it wasn't going to go in, the puck wasn't going to go into the net for you, that you were able to contribute positively to the team?
Yeah, that's something me and Rod have really worked on is being a good tandem, and whoever's on the right side obviously contributes to that. Obviously would have liked to everyone wants to contribute more offensively, but at the end of the day, maybe that's just not our thing. But definitely worked to be relied on the penalty kill. I think that's one thing that I've really developed into my game, and I've learned a lot from Rod day in, day out on that, and just taking pride in being a good defensive forward. And obviously, like I said, I would like to score a couple more goals, but I'm definitely down and willing to block a shot or get a puck out and kill a penalty for the team.
You know, I think when people look at you historically, one of these guys in the National Hockey League that's been one of the quote unquote enforcers in the National Hockey League in the past. But as you see the game kind of progress and adjust, do you feel like you're becoming less of a fighter, so to speak, and more of a defensive forward where you're able to contribute with energy and playing responsible in your own zone more so than that role that maybe you had early on in your career?
Yeah, I think I figured that out, that I need to get with the times, or the game was gonna pass me by, fly right by me if I was gonna be a one-dimensional, yeah, enforcer, as I guess they would call it. But I still think it plays a big part in the game, and the presence on the ice, that can help a team, and knowing that my teammates don't have to be worried about player X or Y on the other side, because I have their back if things need to be taken care of. But definitely trying to, round out my game on the defensive side, like I talked about, and on special teams. And it's still something nice to have in my back pocket, though, that, if push comes to shove, I can handle myself.
Last night against San Jose, before the game, you were acknowledged as one of the co-recipients of the Community Service Award for your tremendous contributions to the Stockton community. Particularly, I think the reading program was one that you were involved in, reading to schools. Is that something that you take a lot of pride in, just as much as the boys in the locker room thinking so highly of you and talking so highly of you and going out on the ice and performing well on the ice? Is that an accolade that you really appreciate?
Yeah, it's something I've done since I was young. I have a lot of free time. As hockey players, we travel, but when we're at home, there's a lot of downtime. And I think it's important for guys to get out in your community, in your city, show your face, talk to fans, read to kids, go to schools, do all that stuff that you can, go to fundraisers. I really think it's a good thing for players to do. And I've always taken a great deal of pride in being that guy and try to get guys on my back with me. And it's something that I have done and will continue to do.
What's next for you now as you approach the off season? I imagine obviously the goal is always to get back to the National Hockey League, but if you're looking at other potential goals, an opportunity to come back to Stockton, an opportunity to maybe become a captain of a team, I know that's something that you would love to be a part of as well. So what are you looking at to try and happen this summer?
This kind of last couple weeks of the season were pretty stressful, and really only had my mind on the next game. And so now it's time for, I think, a little bit of reflection. I'll go back home to Toronto. I'll sit down with my family and, mom and dad. And those are definitely questions and conversations that I'm going to need to answer in the next, weeks, months, whatever it is. But I look forward to whatever opportunity comes ahead. I'm sure I'll talk to management and coaching, here in Stockton and with the guys in Calgary. And, I'll just, literally, as cliche as it sounds, I'll take it one day at a time. And I'm definitely open for any opportunity that comes. And like I said, I'm not ready to leave the game anywhere yet. I think I still have a lot more to offer, and I'm excited for what comes next.
Well, I know you're going to catch a few Jays games up in Toronto, but any other off-season plans that you're looking forward to as well? I know you said you kind of weren't focused on that, but is there something that you're planning in the late summer before you have to start your training to get going in terms of stuff away from the ice?
No, I think I'm just gonna take some time with friends and family. Maybe go on a little trip. It's going to be a pretty early exit here, probably maybe the earliest I've been home in my career. Mid-April. So definitely just going to take some downtime and see everyone and, kind of get away from the game for a bit. I think that's good for the soul, good for the mind, and it'll be nice to get home and see everybody.